Welcome back to the Puck and Ball podcast. NFL offseason is come and gone. Draft season already beginning. Draft in about a month or so. So we're gonna go. Offseason, like I said, is gone. So we're gonna go through each division, through each team. Offseason we liked. Michael's losing it already.
My
He
bad, my
doesn't
bad.
know how to handle himself after our absence.
It's been too long. I'm not used to this.
All right, let's start in the AFC East. Bills got rid of almost a lot of, well, not almost, but a lot of key defensive players. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Trey White. Michael, what do you think their offseason?
I thought it was all right. I mean, I liked not overpaying Gabe Davis like the Jags did. Like I don't think Gabe Davis is a very good player, and I think Curtis Samuel is an upgrade from Gabe Davis, so that'll help their offense. And I mean, nothing too crazy about their offseason. Like Poyer's old, Hyde's old, and I think they made all the right moves where they can, and they got a lot of solid players and no studs.
Do you think the Stephon Diggs era might be coming? I mean, I feel like it's every offseason where we talk about
Mhm.
Diggs is gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like the cryptic tweets too. Like you never know what those mean. He was making a lot of those, but I don't know. I mean, like I think Diggs is huge to their offense, but if I don't know what his contract situation is, and he's like he did kind of decline towards the end of the season, so I could see them moving on.
Miles, what do you think about the Jets? Another go around with Aaron Rodgers. Mike Williams signed a couple weeks back. Do they have a shot at the division, or what do you got? What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think they have a shot at the division. They kind of went in the offseason looking like they had a goal to revamp their O line and kind of sign another wide receiver to help out Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. And I think they did that really well with they got John Simpson, Morgan Moses, and Tyron Smith. Who Tyron Smith is good when he's healthy, but I definitely think they need to add more depth through the draft. But yeah, so far I think they've done a really good job at filling the holes that were pretty pretty bad last season.
Matt, Patriots, Gerard Mayo.
Wait, I wanna say something
Hey,
about the Jets. Like, why aren't the Jets the best team in the division? Like, I think they like filled all the holes they needed to fill. And like, if I mean, obviously the big if is Aaron Rodgers off. I mean, he's like 40 and he's off an Achilles injury, but I'm a huge Rodgers guy and I think he's gonna be great. So like, if Rodgers is balling and he's healthy, I think this team is the best in the division.
I think that's too big of an if.
I
Yeah, I
I
agree.
yeah, if they could stay healthy, I definitely could see that.
Yeah, I guess they have a lot of like with Mike Williams and
Also,
Ty.
do you trust Robert Saleh? Because like I don't
I
know, he
don't.
hasn't like.
I trust him. I
Do
mean,
you trust
I don't
Nathaniel
know what I've
Hackett?
seen that would make me
I
trust
trust
him.
I trust Salah. I don't trust Hackett like you just said.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything.
Mhm.
Gerard Mayo takes the helm in New England, Matt. They sit at three. They're probably taking quarterback. Um, I mean, like, is that the move? Do you think they should trade out, or should they take and build around whatever it is, Drake May?
I think they should take a quarterback, and they also signed Jacoby Brissett, who's probably one of the more serviceable backups in the league. And I really like their wide receiver signings, like KJ Osborne, who's a solid receiver. They have Kendrick Bourne and Jalen Rager, but I still think they're lacking like a big play receiver or running back on offense. I mean, they did get Austin Hooper, who's also a pretty good tight end, but I think they're definitely the worst team in the division still.
Is Zeke still a free agent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is, right?
Hmm.
I mean, their offense just doesn't, like you said, they just don't have that star. I mean, in division, as a Dolphin fan, I'm not scared of them whatsoever when we play them on the offensive side.
I think they should add. I mean, if they have May or I mean Williams is gonna go on, but if May's available at three, I'd take May. If he's not, if one and two is Williams May, I really think they should go Marvin Harrison. I think you could
I
wait
don't know.
another
I
year.
I agree. I mean,
Yeah,
Like
I
you put
agree.
Marvin,
it
like
yeah.
are you gonna look back at passing on Marvin Harrison and be like, what were we doing? Like I think Marvin Harrison
I
is a
think
lock to be like I really think he's gonna be so good and the best player in the draft, and like I think he could be like a Hall of Famer. Like I can say
Yeah.
that right now. He's so good, and like I just don't know if you could pass on that. And Matt said they signed Brissett. Like I think you just ride with Brissett Harrison for a season until you find another opportunity to get a quarterback.
yeah, but those opportunities like Drake May, who's an absolute
Oh yeah,
freak
if May's
athlete.
there, I'd take May.
Okay, but even Jaden Daniels, you wouldn't take.
No, I would way rather Marvin Harrison than Jane Daniels.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
I don't know. They just haven't had a quarterback since Brady's been gone, and it's just been
That's not
a
been that.
crapshoot. Yeah, it's been 4 years.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
like,
but like they don't want to put like May, or I guess you said like they would take May, but
Yeah,
like
in
they
a
don't want
bad situation.
Daniels
Yeah,
yeah,
in a situation they did with Mac Jones. Like Mac Jones had zero help and had basically zero opportunities to actually make the Patriots offense look good. And I think if you take Marvin Harrison, then you at least get a good wide receiver and then a pretty good quarterback who can throw to him and have a pretty good have an all right offense instead of just having like Drake May or Jane Daniels and have no one to throw to.
I just think there's a better chance of getting another like not I'm not comparing anyone to Marvin Harrison, but getting a stud wide receiver. I mean, like look at Puka Nacua. Like nobody knew anything about him, and now he's a stud.
Mhm.
So like I don't know. Any of these three, I think, are just found like sick foundational blocks for a franchise.
yeah. I don't know. I just look at Marvin as like such a guarantee that in
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
but
those
you don't you
especially
think
close
Marvin
games,
you think
like
Marvin's like that far from a Malik Neighbors like that big of a difference?
yeah. I mean, I think this is a great receiver class and there's a lot of guys I like, but I think Marvin's just on another level. I mean, he just literally has everything going for him. And I think going into the league, if like he could be already like top 10, like rookie year.
And I agree with him because, like, look at the whole Bryce Young situation.
Yeah.
People thought he was definitely the best quarterback, and they have no one around him, and he sucked. I think that'd probably be the same case
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Well, Dolphins got rid of pretty much everyone on defense.
Mhm.
Wilkins, Van Ginkel, Jerome Baker, but they signed Jordan Poyer for the safety from the Bills, like you said. He's a little old, but I think the Javon Holland and Jordan Poyer safety group is just gonna be I think it's gonna be really good with Anthony Weaver now. I'm still a little worried about the O line and then the outside like pass rush until um Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips come back from the whatever the ACL, Achilles, all that. I mean, what do you guys think about Dolphins? Still Tua haters, obviously.
I
Um,
mean, I'm looking at them right now, and I like completely forgot they signed Shaq Barrett, which is a good
Yeah.
sign. Good, like, I mean, he's a good pass rusher, and I think Kendall Fuller is a good Howard
yeah,
Smith.
I think their secondary is good. Like
Yeah,
even
I
getting rid
mean,
of Xavier Howard, which is just he
yeah,
wanted way
he
too
was
much.
he was like not yeah, he wasn't that good last year. I mean, and Kendall Fuller, the deal wasn't that expensive. I think
I
that's a
think Jordan Brooks is going to be a stud,
yes. That was the next thing I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Jordan
and
Brooks
they
is
got him pretty cheap too,
yeah. I mean,
10
we'll
million a
touch on
year.
the Seahawks later, but the Seahawks kind of cleaned the house on defense, which I didn't love. Like Jordan Brooks is an elite linebacker.
Yeah.
I don't know much
Yeah.
about what's Anthony's Walker deal. I don't know much about him. Anyone?
I think
No.
he's like just a solid linebacker.
Yeah.
All I
Maybe
know
good
is
depth.
that
Good. Let's go.
if Tua's the quarterback,
All
they're
right.
still
I
nowhere.
mean, the
All I
season
can
hasn't
say.
even started.
No, like
Tua's
it's
the
so.
best regular season quarterback of all time.
I mean, what is two has one more year before one
Fifth
more
year
like
option. Yeah.
I mean
One
like
more.
if he doesn't perform this year, which I don't think he will, because I don't think he's good, then I mean you move on, new quarterback.
If he plays like he did last year, you think they move on? Like he put up like good
They're gonna
stats. Like
keep him. He led the league in passing yards, guys.
yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
They're gonna keep him,
I
and it
mean,
sucks.
was he hurt in that Chiefs playoff game? Because
No,
It was just too cold.
that
No,
was like one of the. I mean, it was
he was
freezing.
not.
Yes, but I mean, he was like terrible, and like even Evan, I remember being like, yeah, it
I
doesn't.
also didn't really like the play calling though. Like Mike McDaniel talk about giving up play calling duties, which is like, I don't know. That's the whole reason why he's there. What
Yeah,
else is he doing as a head coach besides?
yeah,
I mean, like he's known for his offensive mastermind. You might as well use it. I don't
yeah.
know. Let's go to the NFC or AFC North. Ravens now have the best backfield of all time. Lamar and Derrick Henry. Is anyone stopping them?
no.
I mean, like
Oh.
I don't know. One of you,
No.
someone go. I'm speed like it makes no sense because how is anyone going to guard them?
I mean,
They don't.
I think the one thing that could shoot them in the foot is just the passing game overall. I think Lamar Jackson's a great quarterback, but they still don't have amazing receivers. I'm blanking on the name of Zay Flowers. He's good. He's not a stud yet. I think like,
Bless you.
Derrick Henry's a really good running back. He's declining. I don't have a lot of intel on the Ravens O line, but I think the passing game will still be important this year. And I don't think Henry can just dominate like he did in the past.
I also think like the Titans use Derrick Henry as like a workhorse running back, like a 3 down back, And I
Not gonna
think
have to be.
having Lamar there will definitely take some weight off his
And
shoulders.
and
And he'll
Keaton Mitchell, dude's a stud
yeah,
too.
yeah, Keaton Mitchell's pretty good too. So I think he'll definitely be able to produce at a higher level than maybe the last couple seasons. And yeah, I think that's easily the best rushing attack in the NFL.
And I think the most important thing of the Ravens offseason was keeping Matabike, who is, I
Yeah,
mean, he's one of the best defensive tackles in the league, and expensive deal, but worth it. I mean, he was really good, and he kind of came out of nowhere and like all pro defensive tackle. So the defense will still be really good. I think I don't know who they lost. I mean, they lost Clowney, I think. I don't know who else, but yeah, I mean, Henry and Lamar and that offense and a good defense are going to be right back at
They
the top.
lost Patrick Queen.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's huge.
that's
And
big.
yeah, that's big. And Bengals are kind of on a downslope. I mean, T.
Yeah.
Higgins signed a franchise tag and then a week later asked for a trade. Joe Mixon gets traded or free agency, I don't remember. And then like is Zach Moss a workhorse?
I think
Average.
I
I
think
think
he's
they're
average.
also might be relying on Chase Brown, who was pretty good.
Yeah, he was good. He was really good. What do we think? They signed Mike Gesicki, first tight end that's been known on that team. What do we like? Are they gonna be good? I don't know.
Like I don't know. I mean, I really
Like any
don't.
team with Joe Burrow can compete, in my opinion. But like,
I mean, Geno Stone was a great signing. He was one of the best free agent safeties. But other than that, like I feel like they lost more than they gained. And this is before they've even traded T. Higgins, which I feel like we could all agree is probably going to happen.
eventually,
I don't know what destinations are best for Higgins, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and but I did like that they didn't pay Mixon a lot. I don't think Mixon's that good of a running back. Like, and he's kind of on the older side. Like, the Texans gave him what, a 3-year deal, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like that could maybe pay off for 1 year, and then it's kind of gets questionable after that.
Yeah. I also thought an underrating signing for them was Trent Brown, who has
mm.
had a couple good seasons with the Patriots and
Yeah.
definitely more help for Burrow. And I just thought it was an underrated signing.
I mean, I'm not sure how great this team could be if Joe Burrow can't stay healthy. I know we talk a lot about like Tua and his struggles, but I think we got to. I know Joe Burrow's a much better
I don't
quarterback.
think they're on the same level.
No, no,
You
they're not.
can't.
But Joe Burrow has like a crazy injury history. He basically having a
Mhm.
hard time finishing any season besides that Super Bowl year. And also their slow starts each year. And if they're a worse team, I don't know how they can compete with the regular season Dolphins or the Chiefs or any other like good AFC team like the Ravens.
Regular season Dolphins, the new one. Putting a little tight. I don't think they've. I think the Ravens have that division on locks now. They it's the same team minus Patrick Queen plus Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, there's no one really else that I'd be worried about.
Staying in the North, the Browns and the Steelers both kind of buffed up their offense. I mean, Browns got Naheem Hines and Jerry Jeudy via trade, and then they signed Jameis and Tyler Huntley for some reason to go along with Deshaun Watson. And then the Steelers got the two biggest quarterback names out there this offseason and Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Go back to the Browns. Touch on the Browns real quick. Um, is signing those two QBs just showing that they don't trust Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, I didn't think Watson had a good season, and there's no reason they should trust him. I mean, they threw in 40-year-old Joe Flacco, and he was way better
Yeah,
than
it's
Watson.
crazy.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's good security, and it kind of shows Watson, like, hey, like, we gave you a lot of money and we gave up a lot for you, but, like, you're on a short leash here.
Kind of
Yeah.
crazy. They gave him the most guaranteed money at the time, and now he's getting replaced by Jameis Winston
Yeah.
and Joey Footsteps. Steelers, like I said, do we like the Justin Fields trade? I mean, they got Russell Wilson for pretty much nothing, and then they get Justin Fields for pretty much less than nothing. A sixth that can turn into a fourth or a fifth, whatever. Um, I mean, I see it as a high risk or low risk, high reward. I mean, Russell Wilson is not the youngest guy out there. Justin Fields is has a lot of career left to him, and his style of play is going to get more and more common in the NFL. I think it's a great plan, and I wouldn't be surprised if he starts by the end of next season.
Yeah.
I
Just like you said, it was low risk, high reward, and they're kind of just like seeing what works in their offense. Russell Wilson kind of getting older and getting closer to retirement. So I really like the Justin Fields trade, just giving up conditional day 3 pick. And yeah, like low risk, high reward. And if it doesn't work out, then They're not like
They're giving
in
him like, aren't they paying like $1 million for him? And
yeah, it's
the
like they're
Broncos
not
pay
in
the
a
rest?
situation like
It's nothing.
the Browns were with Watson.
Crazy.
Like they can move on quickly.
I still think they need to buff up the wide receiver room because, like, I mean, George Pickens is a good wide receiver, but trading Deontay Johnson, I don't know who else they get. Van Jefferson, like Cordell Patterson, they're not meaningful. I think they need to go after a wide receiver.
Speaking of wide receivers, I just want to go back to the Browns for a second. I think Jerry Jeudy was severely
Yeah,
overpaid.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Darius, like
That's
you
terrible.
guys know Darius Slayton on the Giants. He basically has the same stats as Jerry Jeudy over the past few years, and Jerry Jeudy's making $58 million over 3 years and 41 million guaranteed. I don't think like, I think he's a good route runner. He doesn't have amazing hands. I'm just honestly confused by the signing.
Yeah, like what are they paying him off of? Like, why is he getting that amount of money at all? Like, what has he done to prove that he deserves that? I don't know. I thought it was a terrible contract.
I
Um,
like the trade. I just don't like the contract.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Like, get him, why not? But other like, I don't know why you're like paying him like a player that's never been on your team an extension like that hasn't deserved it. With the Steelers in the field stuff, like he has 1 year left on his deal, so I think a lot of people were surprised by like the amount they got back for him. But like, I mean, if he's not going to start, which they said Russ is going to start, and Russ ends up balling, like you have a backup QB for a day 3 pick, and then he's a free agent. So like you're not going to give up
Yeah,
anything more than that pick for him. And I think the Russ deal is good. I mean, you're only paying a mil, like why not? He didn't have the best season, so good quarterback competition
I
there.
I wouldn't say he had a bad season. I think he had a good season.
It was solid. I mean,
He had 25 plus touchdowns, like less than 10 interceptions or
yeah, it
something
was. It
like
was.
that.
I mean, it was like it was mid. Like I don't know.
It was fine,
Uh,
yeah.
and
But
then
they had a Joe Schmo playing quarterback the whole year. Kenny Pickett is awful.
yeah,
Mason
no,
Rudolph
like
is awful.
yeah, I
It's
like the
just,
signing.
I mean, a team that can go, would they go 9-8?
Yeah.
Something like
I don't
that.
see
Yeah.
I don't see why they can't get 11 wins with Russell Wilson.
And the Queen signing is
Great deal.
obviously good, and the only thing I didn't like was the Johnson trade for Dante
Yeah.
Jackson. I don't think Dante Jackson was a good corner at all for the Panthers, and they kind of just gave away Deontay for free.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the AFC South. In my opinion, the best offseason. I kind of give it away for later on, but best offseason, Houston Texans. Joe Mixon, Daniil Hunter. I mean, goes on and on. They just completely went all in, and I think we now start talking about the Texans in the same conversation with the Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, and all that. Anyone disagree?
No, I think they had a good offseason. I mean, they lost Grenard, who was a great pass rusher for them, but then they replaced him right back with Daniil Hunter. So that's kind of a wash. Um, the Joe Mixon, obviously they needed a better running back and they got him. I said I didn't necessarily agree with the contract, but like trading for him, like, they didn't really give up anything. And then other than that, I mean, they've done pretty well. They've got a lot of solid pieces and they're coming off a year where they exceeded all expectations. So no matter what, they're ahead of the timeline.
Yeah, I think their defense also got a lot better with Hunter, and then they also signed those 4 cornerbacks. Okuda, who, had a lot of praise coming out of college. He's been subpar, but I mean, I really like him from the Lions Hard Knocks, and if he could stay healthy, I think he could be good.
Yep. And Aziz, I forgot to say Aziz Al Shahir. He's a good
Yeah.
linebacker.
He's pretty good.
Yep.
Colts. I mean, Michael Pittman stays, gets franchise tags, gets a good deal. Um, Joe Flacco to go along with Anthony. Like I don't know. I mean, they didn't really do anything special, did they?
No. I mean,
No, I mean, like I think it's funny that Flacco's like getting money. Like I didn't even know he was still going to be in the league after that. I know he was good, but like I don't know. He came off the couch.
Jags traded for Mac Jones for some reason, and then overpaid Gabe Davis, which, I mean, what are they doing?
I
What's
mean,
with the
have
Mac Jones deal? Like I just don't see a point in it.
you guys seen the blind quarterback ratings between Jones and Lawrence?
Yeah, isn't it like not that big of a difference?
It's like exactly the same.
Yeah.
You guys think Trevor Lawrence has pressure this year if he doesn't play good?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
like, yeah, but I
not
mean,
not
Mac
from Mac
Jones is
Jones.
awful. He's
Yeah, not
awful.
from
yeah,
Mac
no,
Jones.
No,
not
I'm
in
not
terms.
saying for Mac Jones, just like
Yeah,
overall as their quarterback.
Well,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I took that as like, is his spot going to get taken by Mac Jones? Which the answer is no, but I also see it as Like this is like his last chance before like real questions start surrounding his name. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I thought a lot of last year was like their offensive line was maybe the worst in football. So you got to cut him some slack for that and like see what he does this year. I mean, the Mac Jones deal, like it doesn't really mean anything, but yeah, I don't really know. And then Gabe Davis, like, what are they doing? I don't think he's that good. And then Darnell Savage, I mean, personally, from a Packers fan, they paid him a decent amount of money, 3-year deal, and he's terrible. I mean, he's not a good safety. So like, I really thought they didn't have a good offseason. I guess Eric Armstead that's a great signing, but other than that, it's I mean, I guess Josh Allen will play on the tag. I don't know if he's like in trade talks, but yeah, I didn't love their offseason.
Rounding up the South, I mean, the Titans got three big name guys: Ridley, Pollard, and then traded for L'Jarius Sneed. Do they have any playoff chance? Like, is Will Levis a guy? Is he I mean, I feel like they have more questions than answers surrounding him, at least. So, I mean, like, I don't know. Matt, what do you think?
Well, I think Ridley also got overpaid, similar
Oh
to
yeah.
He's definitely shown more in the past, but ever since his suspension, like last year, I remember we were doing the preview for the season. We expected him to be one of the best receivers in fantasy, and he was just so disappointing. I like the Pollard signing, but my concern with him is that 2 years ago when Zeke was the RB1 on the Cowboys, everyone was like, put Pollard in, he's so much better. And then when Pollard was in last year, it was evident like he's not a three down back. So I'm not sure how he can carry the workload for the Titans.
I mean, they also have Tajay Sharp, who I thought had a pretty good rookie season. So
They
I think that by the end of the season, he'll be the RB1. I don't really trust Pollard that much. And then also an underrated signing for the Titans, I thought was Kenneth Murray, because they kind of needed a linebacker, and he's a pretty good linebacker. And only for 2 years, 15 million, which is not that much. So I thought that was a good signing.
I
Yeah,
mean, like, I just don't see the Tony Pollard signing. Like, Tajay Spears is a good running back, and I think they should go out and get, or should have gotten like a Zach Moss, like a more of a power back than because they're similar backs, Pollard and Spears.
yeah. I mean, it's a fine backfield. And I agree with the Ridley overpay. I don't know. They're kind of just like using all the money they can and seeing what happens. And some of them will work out, some of them won't. Like seed trade, I like. I think that's not a bad deal for one of the best corners in the league. And they got a Awuzie too, who's another great corner that's dealt with a lot of injuries, but when he's healthy, he's really good. So like it really all depends on Levis is with the Titans. Like they have solid pieces all around. They're filling their holes, and if Will Levis is good, which I think he can be, I think he's shown flashes. I'm not like completely confident in him, but if he's good, then they could be a solid team.
Let's
Yeah.
go to the West. Okay, okay, you got it. Go.
I was just gonna say, I mean, last season I thought their biggest hole was their O line, and they didn't really address it. So I don't know what their plan really is, but if they don't get someone in the early rounds of the draft, I don't know how well Will Levis will play next season.
They
Yeah.
did sign Lloyd Cushenberry.
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. He got paid
Big,
though.
big deal, yeah.
All right, let's go to the West. The Broncos didn't really do anything. They have no QB whatsoever. I don't really want to talk about them, to be honest. Like, it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Are they going to be the worst team in the league?
I think they might be.
I mean, what's their solution at quarterback? JJ? Maybe.
They're not going to trade up. It's going to be the Vikings that are going to trade up. I'll
I
forever
think
stand
I
by
could
that.
see them getting Bo next maybe.
Oh boy,
Or a Penix or something like
they're really.
they just shot themselves in the foot with that Russell Wilson trade.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that
That's the
was
That
worst
just
trade
killed
of all
everything.
time.
you need a
Oh
few.
But
yeah. Yes. Worst trade of all time.
at the same time, like how can you keep Russ? Like
No,
you
yeah.
got to
Oh
respect.
yeah, I agree with letting him go, but
it was a good decision, but it's just like
yeah, I mean they
they
just
gave up
they
everything.
chip away at the hole they dug themselves. Really, I don't know.
All right, Chiefs, Marquise Brown, really good signing. Helps the wide receiver room. And then they keep Chris Jones. Um, are they still the team to beat? I'm assuming yes, with 15 behind center.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Drew Tranquil too. Good keep there. I mean, they're really running it back, which is I mean, they lost Snead. That was it. That
That
was the
was it.
difference. But you can't keep everyone. I mean, it was basically between Jones and Snead, and Jones is the better player, and they paid him a lot, but he deserves it. And Marquise Brown's, I mean, he could be really good.
Yeah.
But
And they always just find a way like
yeah,
to replace these guys. It's just
they draft well is
yeah.
what.
Mhm.
Raiders signed my Kristen Wilkins. I mean, it kind of sucks that he's gone, but he also wanted just an absurd amount of money, which he got. Um, they also have a QB question. I mean, Gardner Minshew, it's not a QB answer. Aiden O'Connell, not a QB answer. I mean, they need a QB. The Broncos need a QB. The Vikings need a QB. It's like there's a lot of QB answers that still need to be filled. Um, Raiders, like, what do we think? Anyone? They just a waste of space.
Yeah,
I
waste.
think, yeah, I mean, Gardner Minshew I thought was a pretty good sign. Kind of gives you a safety net for next season, just in case you don't get the quarterback you want in the draft. So I thought that was a pretty good signing.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of similar to Denver where you paid Jimmy a lot of money and
Yeah.
they paid Russ a lot of money and it didn't work out. So now they kind of gotta find their next option with minimal resources.
Chargers cleaned house on offense. They got super young through those three, letting go Eckler, Keenan Allen, and then Mike Williams recently. I mean, like, what do they do? Like, I don't see the point in it because now Justin Herbert has nobody besides Quentin Johnson, who's still unproven, and now Hayden Hurst. Like, you know what I mean?
I think
Well,
What
he's
if,
they
the worst team
they
in the
had to do it. They were in a
no, they
tough
had
cap
to. They had
situation. Yeah.
the worst cap situation now with Jim Harbaugh coming in. It's like you can't expect him to like succeed. I don't know. Someone take it away. I'm kind
Also,
of like
like Jim
confused.
Harbaugh's offenses, just from what I've seen, like they don't need like a star wide receiver. So
Yeah,
I
but
think like losing
Josh
Mike
Palmer and
Williams.
Quentin Johnson, dude. It's like,
They have the
He'll
fifth
draft
pick,
someone.
right? Don't they have the fifth pick?
yeah,
So
they're
Yeah, they
fifth.
have
they're
the
gonna
fifth
pick.
pick.
I mean, I think
I think they're gonna
that's
trade
the
out,
Adante Neighbors team
Yeah,
if they
I think they
stay.
trade out.
I
or
mean,
maybe
why not
Brock
take a step
Bowers.
receiver?
Brock
Yeah, or
Bowers will fine.
Bowers.
Georgia Dog.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, any of those three. I mean, I think they're going to be all going to be great. So add that to your offense and kind of go from there. I mean, letting go of Eckler, like, good. He's terrible. And Gus Edwards he's a hardball player. I mean, he's going to score a lot of
He
touchdowns.
is. He's gonna score a lot.
And I mean, you have Herbert. So like, obviously, we say Herbert needs more help, but like, you got to do it kind of in the long run. And I don't know. They restructured Mack and Bosa too, who kind of had a mid years. I don't know.
All right, let's head over to the NFC. NFC East is really confusing. Cowboys did nothing.
Nothing.
Giants and Eagles have some controversy between them with Saquon, and then the Commanders just went and spent every dollar possible. So Michael, you get the Cowboys. Um, are they just screwed with Dak's contract and now having to pay CD and then Micah next year? Are they completely screwed? Is this the last year?
Yeah, I mean they kind of like everyone was like, what are they doing, including myself. But then I saw that they have all those upcoming free agents in the future, which is fair. I guess you got to save the money for them. But I saw that they're kind of saying, Dak, you got one more year, and then you're done.
Yeah, he'll
So
be a free agent next year,
Also,
so if
they
they're
hundred.
lost
not gonna
Tyron
pay
Smith.
Dak, like what's the point of like you're kind of like it's basically like you're giving up on him right now because you're not giving him the signings now to save money to re-sign people, but then you're not going to re-sign him because
Yeah,
he's money. I don't know.
yeah.
And it's like you're not helping him. You're putting him in a position to fail so that you could have an excuse to get rid of him. I don't know. That's kind of how I look at it. And obviously, like Lamb and Micah are going to get huge bags, and you have to keep them. But I don't know. They had a good year, and they like kind of their window closed pretty fast.
All right, so Matt, touch on the Giants offseason. And you said before we started, you like getting rid of Saquon. What do you think of the Giants offseason?
Yeah, I mean, Saquon's a good guy. I mean, Giants fan love him. He's like the heart of the team, but you couldn't pay him the money with this offensive line. Team like just they weren't going to value him with the amount they were going to pay him and the fact that he's injury prone and like I just don't think they could have gone to the next level with him. It was the right move to get rid of him, even though it upset many people. But I'm excited about the Brian Burns trade. I think we got one of maybe the best D-line in the league with Lawrence and now the Brian Burns. And overall, it was fine. It kind of hurt to see Xavier McKinney go. He's a pretty good safety, but expecting a wide receiver at the draft for the offense.
I like them buffing up the O line too. That was that was really good in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know about John Runyon though.
Yeah.
He was a Packer and he was probably the worst one on the O line. But I don't know.
Also,
All
if
right, so
Kayvon Thibodeau can like go to the next level this year, he was already really good last year. This defense will be so good.
is Daniel Jones like the future? What do you think?
No, he's definitely not. Like I
Is
see mixed
you know
reports.
wait, isn't there reports that like they might take JJ McCarthy at 6?
Yeah, like they say one day they're gonna take quarterback, next day Drew
Dude,
Lock
that'd
said
be
he's told
insane.
he's QB2. I don't know. I don't think Daniel Jones is the guy at all.
That'd be wild if they draft JJ. Oh my God.
I think that's the neighbors team. I don't know. That's how I look at it.
Okay. That's six.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. Like Jones, you kind of have to give him another chance. I don't know. Like you gave him a big deal. He had a bad start, got hurt. Like you can't just give up on him now. I mean, I don't think he's good. I don't think he's gonna improve, but you got to give him the chance. And their defenses should be pretty solid. So I don't know. Take the receiver, give Jones another year or two, and then look at quarterback.
Miles, you ready to crown the Eagles Super Bowl champions after this offseason?
Yeah, I think
You
so.
said
I
before
think
they had one of the
yeah,
best ones in your opinion.
yeah, definitely. And I don't even think that's a biased take. I think that's I mean, it's obviously debatable, but they're definitely up there for this off season. Obviously, we talked about Saquon. He's injury prone, but behind one of the best O lines in the NFL, I think that'll definitely help him. And also taking away some of his carries and giving them to Jalen Hurts will also help. And then the Bryce Huff signing, I thought was maybe slight
Great.
overpay just because
I
of
like it.
how good our edge depth is right now. But I mean, I don't mind it. I think he adds good depth for our edge group with Brandon Graham probably leaving next season, and then we got Devin White, which I know Michael's not a huge fan of,
Yeah.
and I mean I don't mind it. It was kind of a low risk, high reward, and but I just hope that that's not Howie's long term solution to linebacker. So I'm kind of looking forward to the draft to see what he does there.
It'll be interesting to see what the commies do. They sit at two. They'll probably end up taking a quarterback to go along with Marcus Mariota, who they signed, and Sam Howell, and then Austin Eckler. I mean, Zach Ertz. Like they signed meaningful guys. I just don't think they can compete. What do you guys think?
I think they signed a bunch of wash guys.
Yeah,
Uh,
they signed
I
Bobby
would say
Wagner. Like
yeah.
they
I
signed
yeah,
guys,
I
but
think they're
no,
the losers, the biggest losers of the offseason.
really,
I mean, like Austin Eckler deserves maybe 1 million at
you
most.
hate him.
He's
Hate him.
awful. I mean, he's really bad. I know that like he said he was injured, but there's this clip against the Packers where he's running down the sideline and it literally looks like Pat Ricard like in open like
I
so.
saw that. I saw that.
And I don't know. I mean, I like Drake May a lot. So if they pick Drake May, like good, like that's your big win. But like signing Eckler, Ertz, and Bobby Wagner in the same offseason, like you're really, literally building
So
your
old.
like they're all so old. Frankie Luvu's good and Jeremy Chin's good, so two good signings there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like Austin Eckler's not your answer at running back.
All right, let's go to the North. The team that holds the number one overall pick, the Bears. I mean, it became 12 o'clock on free agency day, and at 12:01 they signed DeAndre Swift, and everyone was like, "What are they doing? Overpay, overpay." You guys agree? I think we all do,
I
right?
think it was overpay, but good. Like I think this offense is gonna be really good with Caleb
Yeah,
Williams, Andre Swift,
Keenan Williams or Keenan
DJ
Allen.
Moore, and Keenan Allen now. Like
Yeah,
I know Keenan Allen gets injured a lot, but he was really good last year, and I think this team can like definitely make the playoffs. Also, they got Jonathan Owens, who's pretty good corner, stay solid. I think they're
Kevin Byard.
they honestly had to overpay this year.
I kind of like what Ryan Poles did. Not gonna lie. I think they can actually get like 8 to 9 wins with a good Caleb Williams.
He just got so bailed out by that Panthers trade. I mean, like that
No,
was
dude, that was a sick trade. That's
no,
crazy.
yeah, like obviously props to him, but like the Panthers were the ones that probably like
Yeah.
were like calling to trade up, and they just that how I imagine they just kept adding things to the trade, and like the Panthers like yeah, it's fine. Like I mean, they gave up the haul for the first pick ended up being insane with like um, I don't even know who it ended up being. Like maybe it was like Allen, Caleb, DJ Moore, Tyreek Stevenson. I don't know. I mean, they're set up pretty well.
Crazy.
Byard's old, but I don't know like what Miles thinks of him with his time with
And
Caleb.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
they sit at 9 too. Like they have two top 10 picks.
Yeah, I mean
Crazy.
that could be another. I mean, if they like imagine they went like Williams Bowers, like I mean they could
Oh my God. But they have
they
Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet's actually good.
yeah, but like
He's a
Bowers
dog.
could play any. I don't know. Like just
Bowers
imagine.
is basically a wide receiver, dude.
Yeah, like if you had
Dude,
Caleb Keenan, Moore, and
when I was
Bowers.
at a Georgia game, he took a 75-yard handoff to the house. Like no tight end should be
Yeah,
able to do that at
yeah,
all.
he's absurd.
He's a freak. Lions kind of the same team. Carlton Davis is a pretty good signing for the back end. Do we think they can take the next level, the next step towards getting past the Niners in the NFC Championship game?
I
No.
think so. I actually really like their offseason. I thought DJ Reader was a great signing. They definitely had a hole in that D line group, and then they also had their cornerback group. I didn't think was that good. And they went out, got Carlton Davis, Emmanuel Mosley, and Amik Robertson, who none of them are superstars, but definitely add some good depth and
Serviceable.
gives them more flexibility in the draft.
Matt,
I'm
why
just
no? Why not?
I'm just getting the vibe. This is completely just my judgment that like the last year the Lions run was kind of just like a miracle type thing. I don't know. I don't think this could like be a team in the future that will be going deep in the playoffs. It kind of just felt like Jared Goff was having a very good year. Dan Campbell made some questionable calls that mostly went his way. I just don't think that's sustainable for the future. So I don't really think they're a major threat in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean I like kind of agree. Like I'm a Lions hater. So like I don't know. I think they had a good run and they're gonna be able to run it back and probably be the team to beat in the division. But like I don't know. I mean, I do like their D line a lot. I mean, signing DJ Reader, having Aleen McNeil, and having Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, that's like
Yeah,
a really
huge.
good defensive line. Their corners, like they signed good ones, but it's still a little questionable. And Cam Sutton got arrested and cut, so that was a failed experiment. It really just, I mean, it depends on Golf again. I think he'll be solid, and I don't love Golf, but I think he's a serviceable quarterback, and the Lions will kind of run it back, but they're not like an elite tier team, in my opinion.
Are the Packers now an elite tier team?
Super Bowl.
Talk to me.
I really liked. I don't know. When they signed Jacobs, I was because I wanted Saquon, which obviously was unrealistic, and the Packers aren't big free agent spenders, so I didn't think they were going to get him. But the thought of having Aaron Jones and another elite back in the backfield was because the Aaron Jones already like only played 50% of the snaps. So if you split that backfield and have them both fresh wheels all the time, I mean, it would be absurd. So when they signed Jacobs before they cut Jones, I was like, I mean, this is how are they going to stop this? And then obviously they cut Jones. So I'm disappointed with that for sure. But I think Jacobs, he's a younger option. I mean, it's the exact same extension they gave Aaron Jones like 3 years ago. And Jacobs is 3 years younger than Jones. So it's literally like they just like got a new Aaron Jones. That's what it felt like to me. And I think Jacobs is a good player. And then the bigger signing, in my opinion, was Xavier McKinney, 24 years old, sticking to the young theme team. And a big deal for a safety, but we needed safety really badly. Resigning Keyshawn Nixon will be good, especially with the new kickoff rules. And I don't like AJ Dillon, but it was like a $1 million deal. So overall, I think we're gonna be. I mean, I think before even the offseason, I was like, this is we're going in the right direction, and now I like it even more. A lot of draft capital, nothing top 20, but like a lot of
Where do they
picks.
sit?
They have 25 and then 2 seconds and 2/3.
Not
So
bad.
like one of the seconds from the Rodgers trade, I think. So I don't know. But I mean they're in a good spot and they have a lot of ammo for the future and obviously like the youngest team ever. So I'm excited for the future.
Oh, they're gonna be so good. Jordan Love's so good, dude.
I know. I
He's
mean,
so good.
that's
I
another thing.
would
Love has to take another step, in my opinion. Like he was great, but
if you can get playoff love like this past year, playoff love,
yeah.
the whole regular season and the whole rest of the like all of next year is what I'm trying to say. And then I don't see why they can't make a playoff run.
And like they have so many players like capable of making jumps too, like just random players.
Justin
Like Jaden
Watson.
Reed had a great rookie season. Like, why can't he be even better? And
Yeah.
Wicks and Kraft and Musgrave and I mean you just go down the whole roster and they're all like 22 and and they made a playoff run. So like what is there not to like?
Yeah. Well, Vikings made some good signings. They still don't have a quarterback, lost Kirk Cousins, signed Van Ginkel, and like you said, Aaron Jones and Sam Darnold is more questions than answers for this team.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, what do you guys think's gonna happen with Justin Jefferson? Because I feel like
Oh my God.
not gonna want to
Imagine
stay and play
he's
with.
gonna
I
get
don't
an
know if
absurd
Darnold's gonna
amount of
play.
money.
Yeah, I don't think they can't keep him.
You
Like
have to.
like
You
he's
have
I'm
to.
saying like they're not going to be able to like they're gonna have to pay him so much and I feel like he's
Oh.
gonna want to go.
Really?
I feel like he's going to want to go somewhere else. I don't know. He's already
I
getting
I think
traded with Kirk.
I think it'll depend on what they do with quarterback. Like if they don't touch on that before he's due, then why would I be here, you know?
Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah,
think they go up to 4 and get JJ?
I think so. Yeah, and I think the Sam Darnold signing was really good to kind of puts him in a good position for drafting JJ because like everyone knows, JJ probably not a day one starter, and kind of got to build him into the offense as the season goes. So yeah, if Sam Darnold could like get that season started and get them in the right direction, then I think drafting JJ would probably be best for Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right,
no,
let's get,
I like
yeah.
just real quick. I like their like other signings too. Like obviously, I love Aaron Jones. I was surprised he only got 7 mil, 1 year deal. So you're not like paying. You're not like committing to him long term, and he's 29, so that's good. He'll be good for this year. And Van Ginkel and Jonathan Grenard, two really good pass rushers. So you're replacing Daniil Hunter. I think maybe even upgrading at D line. But yeah, obviously the big question mark is Jefferson and the quarterback.
Someone's got to win it. NFC South got a lot more interesting with Kirk Cousins. Um,
Yeah.
do we think that puts them as the favorites in that awful division that we've talked about many, many times?
Yeah,
I would say
I'd
I
yes,
say so, yeah.
I
100%.
definitely.
I
I mean, I
And
mean,
they got
and
more
and
wide receiver depth.
Mooney, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is really good.
I didn't love the Mooney deal. I mean,
It was too much, but I like the idea.
yeah, no, I do too, but like, is anyone else surprised? 3 year 39 for Darnell Mooney? Like, what is
Yeah,
he?
I
What's
thought
yeah,
that was
he's
getting?
getting
overpaid.
What is
overpaid.
No,
he's?
yeah, he 100% got too much, but like I said,
Yeah,
I like upgrading the wide receivers.
yeah. No, I agree, and I think Rondell Moore is great. I
If
mean,
Raheem Morris can use those offensive weapons well, I think they could be a really good offense, really
Yeah.
scary offense. Pitts, London, Bijan, Mooney,
yeah,
Cousins, obviously. Do we think that we are underestimating the fact that he's coming back from a torn, what was it ACL or Achilles?
Achilles.
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 I don't
We
know. I
got
think
to, I mean,
he's not really mobile in the first place, so I don't think it's
true.
going to affect him
Yeah,
that much.
yeah, you're right. Good
yeah,
point.
and like 4 years is like kind of a lot, but I mean, if you wanted to get that big name free agent, you got to give him a big deal. So I like it, and it definitely puts them as the favorites for the division.
Uh, like we said earlier, the Panthers are kind of in a bad spot with Bryce Young. Traded for Deontay Johnson, which is fine. Good deal.
Mhm.
Michael didn't really like Dante Jackson anyway. They signed Jadeveon Clowney just this week. What do you think? Are they coming for another first overall pick next year?
Yes.
They
I would say.
suck.
I don't
Jeez.
really see anything that would make them better right now. Like Deontay Johnson's good. He's
They
not a receiver.
upgraded that O line.
They upgraded the O line. Yeah.
Like
Robert
you,
Hunt.
the thing with the Panthers is this was kind of the Jags a few years ago when they had that Christian Kirk off season where he got a lot of money. It's like there's like a tax that you got to kind of pay them a lot more to come play for you. Like a Panthers tax, like Robert Hunt, good guard, but $100 million. That I mean, really only the Panthers would have to give that for him to come. But yeah, I mean, you got to use your money somehow and upgrade somehow and help Bryce. So the guards are good and Jadeveon Clowney, good signing today. And Jordan Fuller, I wanted the Packers to get at safety. They signed him. And then yeah, we talked about the Deontay Johnson deal, which was solid.
I mean, the Bucks and the Saints kind of stayed pat. Saints did more than the Bucks did. They got Willie Gay and then Chase Young. I mean, and then the Bucks just re-signed everyone, Whitehead and Evans, Baker, anyone. I mean, I don't really think we need to touch on them that much.
I just didn't love like the Bucks giving Baker a lot of money. I don't know. Like I'm just not a big Baker guy, and you're basically saying I'm content with being a wild card team that loses first round. That's
Yeah,
all.
I
but
mean,
like they in their eyes, they can compete for the division. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, like you
That
kind of
division is so bad,
kind
dude.
of had to do it, but like
yeah, if you don't resign him, like who's your quarterback?
yeah, like you had to, but like
Yeah,
100 million for
It is a lot.
like what if he sucks this year?
It
Like
is a lot.
possible?
It is
then
very possible. I
get a high
agree.
draft pick.
Yeah, and yeah, I
Yeah, but
guess
then you waste all that money.
yeah, it's a lot of dead cap.
Anything? They kind of, I mean, that division, I just hate that division. NFC West, Michael, you kind of touched on it earlier. Seahawks you didn't like. Want to expand
Yeah,
on that a little
so
more?
I like before this offseason, like before any decisions were made, and I didn't know that they had a bunch of free agents like that, but I kind of liked where the Seahawks were headed with, I mean, they have DK Lockett and Jigba and Geno Smith. I think and Kenneth Walker. Like that's a really good offense. They had a good defense last year with, good corners, good safeties, good linebackers, and then they had Mike McDonald, which I thought was a home run hire. I mean, he's a former Wolverine defensive coordinator. I think he's an absolute stud at coach. So I kind of like the direction they were headed. And then they let go Quandre Diggs, Jamal Adams, and Jordan Brooks. So like kind of it's like what are they doing on defense now? I mean, those are like cornerstone pieces, and you still have Wallen and Witherspoon, but that now you're just all you have is corner and nothing else. I mean, their edge rushers are good too, but Jordan Brooks, great. I thought they should have re-signed him, and then one of Diggs and Adams, and said they let all three go.
Yeah. I didn't even I completely forgot they traded for Sam Howell too. I said him earlier with the
Yeah.
commies, so I apologize for that. Niners, are they still the team to beat? They didn't really do much. It's kind of the same team, Josh Dobbs, whatever, Brandon Allen, whatever. I mean, not
I mean, I
much.
don't know. I feel like last year was
It's
their
the
year.
same team.
Purdy was playing really good. McCaffrey was actually healthy, which was pretty surprising. I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl this year. I just get that feeling like I don't know how Purdy's going to sustain that level. Kind of got exposed later in the playoffs and the fact that he's getting carried by his offensive weapons. And I don't know if Brandon Ayuk is even going to stay on the team. That
Oh
would be a
yeah.
big problem for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think they're for sure the division favorites, but there's a lot of NFC teams getting better while they're kind of staying put. Like I like the Eagles better. I like the Lions probably almost better, and then the Packers are coming.
Yeah, you're right. Um, Rams and Cardinals, anything? I mean, Tre'Davious White just today or yesterday, whatever it was. Darius Williams, they resigned. Anything with those two teams? Not
I'm just
much, right?
confused, like, why was Jimmy G even signed? Like,
Yeah,
he's suspended.
He's
He sucks. Just doesn't make sense.
yeah, I agree. I mean,
makes no sense.
they got Jonah Jackson and Kevin Dotson had a great year. I thought that was a good contract. So keeping the O line good, and they drafted well last year. So just gotta keep going.
All right. So biggest winner, what do we all got? Miles, you said Eagles, right?
I mean, yeah, but I won't choose them. I'll go somewhere else. I'll say
You can. Like you said, not
uh
biased before.
no, that's not fun.
Yeah,
All
now
right,
what?
I'll start. While you look, I'll go
You
Texans.
go.
I'll go Texans. I think they filled the holes that they needed. Daniil Hunter and Joe Mixon are just two great top 15 players of their position, top 5 to 10 for Daniil Hunter as well. Led the league in sacks, if I remember correctly. So I think they just went all in. D'Amico Ryans, I think, just is a great coach, and CJ Stroud is just, dude, he's so good. No glaze, but he's so good, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah, fair.
Anyone? Biggest winners? What do we got?
I don't want to pick the Packers, so I'm looking too.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
should I say mine? You pick.
yeah,
Yeah, go. You got it.
I'm gonna say the Bears. I know they spent a lot of money, but
No,
I
that's
thought
good.
they got
Yeah.
pieces they needed, and I know the draft is like not necessarily free agency, but like the fact that they got
Off
Swift,
season.
Keenan Allen, and they have those two picks. I'm just assuming that Caleb Williams is on the team right now. Like I think they made the biggest jump.
I think they could fight for a wild card spot, not gonna lie.
the
I don't
Bears.
see what like if Williams is what we think he's gonna be, maybe not in year one, but year two or something, I could see them being a 9 to 10 win team.
Yeah, I hate it as a Packers fan, and I think they're in a great spot. The really the only thing I didn't like was Swift, but other than that, that trade just set him up perfectly for the future. And I'm a big Caleb fan, so I think he's really good.
Miles winner.
Yeah, I mean I genuinely think it's the Eagles, but I guess after that, I would say the New York Jets. I think they actually had a very good offseason and addressed every position that they kind of needed to and have set them up really well for maybe a Super Bowl push next year. And I mean, Yeah, if they could win that division, I think they could definitely make a run. And if they stay healthy, which, like you said, it's a big if, but if they do, then I mean, they could definitely make the Super Bowl. And
I just,
a
I
signing
just,
we didn't talk about was Tyrod Taylor, which kind
uh,
of
Yeah, because
uh,
yeah.
I thought was underrated because you never know, and they saw last season how important backup quarterbacks are. So
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Jets off season too. For me, like I was gonna say the Packers, because I'm a Packers fan. But like I really think the McKinney signing was huge, and he's only 24, he's one of the best safeties in the league. But I've talked enough about the Packers. I'll go with the Chiefs just because like the Chris
Same
Jones was
team.
such a big question mark, and like it was kind of like, was that their last year? Like if they lose Jones, it gets a little scary, and they kept him. So like that was a huge win. They got decent like late picks for Snead, but they got picks. Drew Tranquil solid, and then Marquise Brown. I mean, he'll be him and Rasheed Rice. That's really all you need with Kelsey Mahomes. Like that's gonna be they're just gonna run it back and be another like Super Bowl. They're gonna be a Super Bowl contender again.
Oh, sucks, dude. That sucks. I
Yeah.
mean, that number 1-5 is just different. He is so good. Um, that'll do it here at the Pokemon Podcast. We'll see you guys next time for a little mock draft preview, and also NHL postseason coming up. So we'll see you guys soon.